Transferring to the front here. I had a kind of a confusing start here. Couple of minutes off. Hello, casual. So let me just settle in and then we get into our topic. Please invite your followers, yes. And please watch me on YouTube if you can. I think nobody cares about me on Periscope anymore, so that doesn't really matter. You're talking about SIF data? What is SIF data? What the zuck is that? SIF data. What is SIF data? You must mean EXIF. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me just configure this. So we have YouTube live. It's no way, no way. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening to you lately, but on Periscope, it's like every week it drops another 100. So, went from 2,000 a night to now, what is it now? 400 a night. I mean, it's like just keeps going down. So we don't really have to worry about that. But please subscribe to my YouTube account and watch on YouTube. Hello, Drac. Watch on YouTube. So, we will, and Periscope will be what Periscope is. Maybe they are on YouTube. No, they are not. The usual crowd is on YouTube. Some of them are on both. But it's just been recently happening like this. It's almost like just a slow shift. A slow shift that it's not looking good for Periscope, to be honest. So if you're if you're cheating on Periscope, or you're like an open box type, hello Art. If you're cheating and you're an open box type, then you'll still do okay on Periscope. But other than that, it's just slowly declining here. Thank you, Min. So it's slowly declining, and it's frustrating because where my 30,000 followers have pretty much, in fact, I was looking at the numbers. Then my 30,000 followers became 30,000. Let me just look at that again. Even that dropped, I think. Yeah, from 32,000 followers it became 30,000 followers. I guess they must have, and it's dropping every night. And every night is dropping. So, yesterday was 412, 30,412. The day before it was 30,420 something, and then a few days ago was 30,430 something, and then a couple weeks ago it was 32,000 something. So who the zuck knows? So I don't even know anymore. So it's just if you don't even know who's watching, who's a real watcher in Periscope and who's not, it's kind of depressing. Hello, Art is back. So it's that's what the reality is for some of these platforms. It's I've been on Periscope for so long, for 4 years, and these 32,000 followers have actually now dropped to 30,000 followers. Is there a holiday place for these followers? Mars, maybe. I don't know, John Ford. There's no holiday yet. What's the zucking holiday? It's not even Easter yet. So, are they all college students and are all on spring break? What the zuck? Spring cleaning the bots? So, don't know. So anyway, we don't really need to worry about that. Hello, like Bruce Lee. We don't need to worry about that. I don't really have any complaints. My only thing is that I'm so happy that getting close to 4,000 hours on YouTube. As you know, I started doing broadcasting on YouTube on a regular basis in January, on like January 10 or something like that when I started, and here we are in at the end of March, and we're getting close to 4,000 hours. I already have over 1,000 followers. So hopefully that will come soon, and then we'll see if that changes anything as far as YouTube goes. You know, as far as getting traffic on YouTube, it's been an exciting journey. It's very hard to do. You have 29 followers. Where do you have, 29 followers here on? Oh, you have 29 followers on Periscope. Do you follow me on YouTube, Art? Do you follow me on YouTube? So anyway, watch me on YouTube. That's hello, Peter Unplugged. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, so follow me on YouTube, please, since that's where some of the content that I have is going to be posted. And iSocialFit is not yet here, but I'm gonna continue something that I was asked yesterday. Yesterday, I was showing you the VPN router. Been doing Robathon last. Thank you, Entire yesterday, I was doing a demo of the VPN router that I recently made. Liked on the tube, now here. Thank you, John. I was on the VPN router that I showed you and demonstrated yesterday, and I got asked a question. And by the way, I did not post the links on the YouTube video yesterday. My mistake. I put all the links for the store and everything else of where to get it on the YouTube video. Hello, Judy. Is that Judy? Hello, Judy. And I put it on the link now. But iSocialFit asked me a question, and I wanted to answer for some of you who may be interested. And the question was, is there a way to hook up the VPN router to 4G? Is there a way to have 4G on the VPN router? That way you can take it anywhere with you and share a VPN. Let's say you go to a hotel and you want to share a VPN with your family. Could you do that? That's the question. The answer is yes. I found out what device to use, and I got it all figured out. And it's actually, I posted a link on my video on the Privacy Gadgets video, and I posted a link there. And what it is a Netgear LTE modem. So you can actually get these Netgear LTE modems. They're square like that big, about so thick, and they're around. I don't know. The price went up. Yesterday I was looking at it, was 99 bucks, and look today it was 119. So somebody was playing some game. Yesterday it was 99 bucks. It went up 20 bucks overnight. Pretty weird. Anyway, so that's a modem. You can attach that to my VPN router, guaranteed. There's a Ethernet port to it. You can attach the Ethernet to it, and then you can now share the VPN to anyone in the vicinity using your LTE data. That's Australian price. No, that's the U.S. dollars. I promise not to troll you tonight. I have a bond. What is your bond with me, Jerry? I never consider you a troll, Jerry. Why do you make it sound like you're a troll? You're not my idea of a troll. You're not on my troll list. I've never looked at you as a troll. You mean having an opinion means you're a troll? No, that is not a troll. A troll is somebody who disrupts the broadcast. If you disrupt the broadcast, that's a troll. Having an opinion is not a trollish behavior as far as I'm concerned. So please watch me on YouTube. And again, you've never affected him enough to be a troll. Yes. So Leonidas Moraides, have I tuned the piano? Why do you ask me that question? Obviously, the piano has to be tuned regularly. Could you add a SIM card to your router with new software? So John, you have to add the other device. It's called a Netgear LTE modem. To that, you attach a SIM card. So so basically, it's two pieces. You have the VPN router, and then you have the SIM card. For some of you who don't want to use Wi-Fi, you can actually do this. Get the for those of you who don't want to use DSL, you could get yourself this LTE data. It's called Netgear LTE modem. Attach it to the VPN router, and there you go. and then you have internet on a VPN. So that's a question that was asked to me yesterday by iSocialFit, and I wanted to let you know that. At some point in the next week, I also want to talk about something else, and I'm going to show you what it is right now. And I don't know if you've ever thought about this, guys. It's this. It's really tiny, so I'm going to have to pull it out here. I have it on an adapter. Oops. Oh, gosh, I dropped it. Okay. That's how tiny it is. Okay, this is a hardware two-factor authentication, hardware-based two-factor authentication. This one is a brand called YubiKey. YubiKey. And this allows you to do two-factor authentication without having to give your phone number. So in some ways, it's both an internet privacy question and an internet security issue, because the fact that you don't have to give a phone number can be useful. Now there are pluses and minuses to this device. This one is a USB-A adapter. I have a converter to convert it to USB-C. That's why it's a little bit bigger like that. That's with the adapter on it. But when you actually use the actual YubiKey unit there, it doesn't actually, it disappears in the port. Okay, this one does not have NFC on it. You can buy one with NFC. So this one does not have NFC. So this is a YubiKey, and I will just teach you about this, discuss it, and see the pluses and minuses. Okay, I use it in a very limited way currently. Some of you may want to think about this, and I use it in a very limited way. There's limitations, but you're probably interested in it. I will be talking about it, soon. So I'm just trying to, be more practical with my advice, so that somebody doesn't say that my advice is all theoretical. Tool used by Google staff allegedly. Yeah, you can. Some corporations are using that. Yes, and I don't know if Google's using that particular model. Can't be certain. I don't know if they announced what model they were using, but yes, Google is using a security key of some sort. And the way it works is when you get two-factor authentication, you just have to touch it. So again, the way that this works is when you go to, let's say you go to, Google or Twitter or Amazon, I just touch it. Okay, and then that gives the key. Then I don't have to go to my authenticator or use a phone number. It just saves a lot of steps and allows me to do two-factor authentication on logins. And this one is made for a computer. It's not really made for mobile. I don't know how convenient it is with mobile, because you have to always carry the hardware. So I always worry about that. What if I didn't have it? Then I have to give my phone number anyway. So that's this one is a brand called YubiKey. So it's a hardware-based two-factor authentication, and I will try to teach you that soon. I just have to write up the date on it, maybe make a video on it, and do a review, because there's pluses and minuses to it. There's difficulties, and this one I believe cost me about $50 for the key, so on Amazon. So I want to just teach you that and see if that's useful to you. Okay, because I want to teach you stuff. You're not on public Periscope broadcast list yet again, but in other news, it looks like they TP'd all of what? I found about 75 down. 75 down. My gosh, that's like all the way down. It's like I don't exist. Anyway, so that's the YubiKey. We'll talk about that. On one of these future broadcasts. Could be tomorrow. It could be next week. But we'll see. We'll see what our schedule is. NFC version of YubiKey over 100 on Amazon. Is that US dollars 100? Yeah. So I don't use the NFC version. I like the convenience of having it on a computer, and I selectively use it for things that need two-factor authentication. Not everything I do requires two-factor authentication, so I don't want to overdo that because it's not like corporate security. Australian famous dollars. Okay, so anyway, the topic tonight, did I miss the secret photo information? I haven't started yet. Sola Voce. I haven't started yet. So anyway, what I'm going to show you is I actually went out and tried to take some photos, and I discovered something today that I did not know about. So I've already talked about this topic before and showed you data, but I will maybe modify it today because I learned something new today, and I got to research some more. But there's been a change on the way iPhone behaves. There's a change in the way the iPhone behaves. So I don't think the change affects Google, but there's a change, and I don't know when. I don't know when the iPhone OS changed this and how they were handling the images, but there was a change. So, Tim Cook is changing something. So we are going to find out later. In the meantime, what I did was some time ago, I took a photo. I went out there and away from where I live, and took a photo. And what I did was capture the photo raw from my iPhone, and then I put that in my computer, and I'm going to demonstrate to you what it shows when you capture an image from the phone, and then you would theoretically upload that to your Instagram or to Facebook or to Snapchat or wherever you do that. And I want to show you what they see when you upload your photos. That okay with you guys? So we're gonna do that. Okay, you won't see my face for a moment here while I do this. Okay, so let me first choose a file. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to select the file that I'm going to look at, which is right here on my desktop, and this is the file right here. That's the photo. It said photo with EXIF, and I will click on that, and it's going to analyze it. It wasn't working completely a moment ago, so we'll see what it does. So there's the image, and I don't know why, but the Google Maps is not showing it, but there it is. A moment ago, it wasn't showing that. There, it found the exact location on Google Maps. I guess this website didn't pay the bill, so Google is not allowing it to. Yeah, so there's the exact location of that photo. The exact street right there. Okay? There's the longitude and latitude. In case you can't see that, I want to make sure you see that. Okay, so that's exact location on the photos. It also tells you the brand. This was when I had a iPhone 6s Plus, and all the information about the phone. And there you see the phone and the even what version of software was on the phone at the time, when it was created, exactly what timestamp. I guess you can. I'll just keep scrolling, and you can see it's it collects a lot of data. Then it has hello Sandra Shields. I'll show you how you can do this. I'm gonna put this on. You can't check the data on Instagram once you upload it, you have to check it before you upload it, because Instagram is going to strip off the EXIF data, the secret data. They'll strip it off so that other people don't see it. They see it. They take the data and so on. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is the it's a more complete version. But let me just show you a different method. You can actually just right-click on the here. I'm going to move it over here. This is Windows. This is Windows 10. I just right-click on the photo. Okay, and you can do this. You don't need any special tools. You can do this, and you look at details, and there's the same information, but it's not as beautiful as seeing the exact location. There's the GPS location right there. Can you see that? That's on Windows. Right click, properties, and then you see the data. Okay? Now, that's not the only data. That's just some of it. Now, this other website here gives you all of the data. So we're actually going to do it again. And then we're going to show you all the data that you actually see. So it's processing right now. And now I'll show you all the data. This is actually more data than is shown on there. And you'll see. I'm just going to scroll up slowly here. I mean, there's so much. It doesn't matter what the OS is. It's all the same. But you can use this website. I'll put this link on the video, so you can use these websites to check. So this is like where all the serial numbers of your devices are. This is important because if it knows the serial number of your device and MAC addresses and whatever else is on here, I don't actually know what's on here. Okay, but these are identifiers. That makes your device unique. Okay, and then we'll talk about, what the implications of that is. I'm still going here. I'm only halfway through. I'm only halfway through. It's still going. It's still going. More. Okay, now I'm halfway. I'm past halfway. Okay. Yeah, it's not megabytes, but it's not megabytes of data, but it's a ton of it, And it's like, what the fuck? What the heck are you putting in their data? This, by the way, is on an iPhone 6 on the phone version a couple of years ago. Okay, I'm going to go back with my face here and tell you about what you just saw. More. How do you like it? How do you like it? So anyway, what I just showed you is called metadata. That's metadata on your photos. It's called EXIF. Okay, so I showed you 3 ways of seeing that. I will put the link in the video on YouTube so you can check it out yourself. It's also on my website, whatthezuck.net. So I'll put that on the video. Now, so every photo you take, if you do not take any precautions, that is what is in the data. Some of it includes location, and then some of you will turn off location, but it doesn't necessarily turn off the rest of that data that you just saw in there. It only turns off location. So you got to be careful with what that means, meaning we have to test it, because some of them mean, when they say location off, some of them say, oh, okay, we'll turn off location, but we'll leave the rest of the metadata. And some of them will say, oh, you mean location only, and they maybe strip off the location portion and leave the rest. I don't know. You got to test it individually, because everyone will behave differently. For many years, for some of you, you have been uploading thousands of pictures to Facebook probably for the last, 12, 13 years, uploading all of this data to Facebook. And they've been taking that data with every model of device you've been using and every exact location, including where you were facing. including if you're moving or not moving, if you're in a car or not in a car. They all know that's in that EXIF data. They actually know motion. They actually know altitude. They know if you're flying. They know if you're on the ground. They know everything from that metadata. Okay, so when you actually, you actually not subscribe to. Thank you, Sandra Shields. So when you actually go to Facebook, and none of you actually wondered. Thank you, Sandra. So none of you actually wonder why when you go to Facebook, it says, "Look at all the locations you've been in," and none of you actually make a comment about that, and you say, "That's really strange. How did it know that I was in those locations?" And you're thinking that they're somehow capturing data from your GPS and all that. No. The biggest source of data from Facebook initially in the first years of Facebook was actually from EXIF data. The metadata that I just showed you is from the photos. It's called EXIF. Okay? So like extra information, extra info. It helps me remember. Yeah, inquiring minds gotta know. I've never put pics on Zuckbook. Good for you. So anyway, this has been going on for obviously since 2007. So when you uploaded a photo, this is the first thing that they were using to strip off the data and identify who you are, because they can, by the way, just so you understand what's happening here. So you post the photos, and many of the photos will kind of clump together in a few areas. They will then be able to clump the photos and say, a lot of the photos are in Los Angeles. And then occasionally it shows, New York and Paris and Japan and, Australia. So they will gather from that, then they will now know that that you are actually traveling occasionally, and they have the dates of travel from the photos. They also know that you are mostly in Los Angeles. They know exactly where your house is because the photos will centralize in your house. And by the way, when you use the internet, they know your IP address. Now they can match the location of the photos to your IP address at the time you uploaded the photos. Okay, this is, some of these companies like Facebook, they're like, they're very, very eager to collect this, and it's really, really bothersome when you actually look at it from an aggregate point of view, where you actually look back and say, how much have they captured? So, just to put this in a perspective of day-to-day use, my family comes over to my house on Thanksgiving. So I have a lot of family members. They come into the house on Thanksgiving. I've typically 50 people in here, so 50 relatives or so. And yep, so follow me on YouTube, Shoes of Peace. Subscribe, I mean. So my family comes here to my house, and one of the first things they do is they start taking pictures with their Zucking phone. So they all have their iPhones. Snap, snap, snap. Do they care about any settings on it? No. They just say snap, 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 snap. They just take pictures of everyone here on, what is an outfit? This is a Zucking sweater. It's like, according to Jay here, I gotta have a different sweater every Zucking night. So it's like zucked up. So anyway, so they just snap, 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 take all the photos in the house. And obviously what's actually happening is they're taking location data from the photos, just like I showed you. They also have a serial number of the device on that. I showed you the metadata on that has the device info. All these sites archive or post. Well, let me just show you that again. So going back to the photo here, look at this. I mean, this is some of the metadata again. And the thing that should concern you is that not only do they have location, but they have on the top there says Apple data. They actually have some identifiers, which I presume can be anything from, I don't know if that includes IMEI numbers on the phone, because an IMEI, which is the identifier for the cell phone, I don't know if that's on there. I can go look and see if there's a pattern, but that could be in there. I don't know if IP addresses and things are on here. I don't actually know. You know, it's not obvious looking at this, so we're gonna have to go figure out what all this means and decode it. But I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you this. That data is an identifier to this phone. It will know which specific phone it is. I would bet you that would be enough to do what is called a device fingerprint. Well, Pygmy, hello Pygmy. A identifier could be as simple as an IMEI number. Every cell phone has a fixed number on it called IMEI. Usually, it's written on the back of the phone, and you're not supposed to touch that. You go to jail if you change the IMEI number of your phone. So you can't change the IMEI. You can't go and say, I'm going to go reflash it. Go to download make a new chip and reflash that and change the IMEI number on it. That is a federal crime. So that's a federal crime. So actually, Kevin Mitnick was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He got 5. He got 5, but he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for changing IMEI numbers. And that's how serious the feds take that. So don't change IMEI numbers on your phone. The point is, your EXIF data, the data on your phone from your photos may have that. I can't tell you exactly what's in that, but they may be sending the IMEI, which will uniquely identify this device. That's enough of an identifier to say this is a specific device. Not counting the ICC number, which I saw on there. The ICC ID is the number of the SIM card. The ICC number is the ICC of the SIM card. Maybe Pygmy was in telecommunications. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows what the number is. But I haven't gone and checked it. But I'll show you. We'll actually show you how you can wipe this out. Right. And then and a little bit of an update on this when it comes to Apple. So but let's talk about the process first. So what happens? So Facebook, will you be able to? Yes, you can, Sandra. I have a tool for that. People need together and crowdfund a transparent phone device. I wish I made hardware, but yes, where's my BlackBerry? Go to my video flip phones, and I showed you a BlackBerry that I use in the demo in the flip phone. That's what I use now, and that doesn't track me. It doesn't have EXIF on the photos. Photos are not that good quality, but but at least it doesn't track me. ICC, International Communications Commission. All phones are registered to the feds, but ICC is the SIM card though. IMEI is the phone. So I pull out my Polaroid again. You don't need the Polaroid. Obama is because the photo on the Polaroid is worse than the photo on the BlackBerry. So the BlackBerry is fine. Yeah. So IMEI is the number of the iPhone. Hey, how are you doing, Rob? And then the ICC is the SIM card. So in combination with the two, that uniquely identifies both. So that's a pair. And it knows the manufacturer and all that from that IMEI number. They can look it up. They can check out the model or what model phone it is and all that. They'll know it. It's already mentioned specifically on the, oops, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing there. Hold on. This one. Okay, it's already on there. So in here, let me just show you the other one here. Okay, this one did not show the ICC. I don't know if you can see this. Let me make it smaller. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. Okay, this one says ICC profile is blank. So it didn't show the ICC. So I presume this is the SIM card information. I don't believe I had a SIM card at the time. Okay? At the time I took this particular photo, there was no SIM card. So that's probably where the SIM card information is. Zuck calling on governments to help regulate internet content. Like, that's because he wants to control it. He thinks it's inevitable, so he wants to be in it. I just want you to remember this. Zuck calls Zuck book privacy focused social media. There, this is the original one. Yes, I do have an Apple Watch, Sandra. I don't use it. There, privacy focused social media. That's been a headline on that long ago. So basically, Facebook stole that from me. That's been the label on Brax for a long time. Privacy focused social media. So I want to make sure we are clear on that. Anyway, I thought I wouldn't use it. So yes, I have a Apple Watch. I don't use it. That would track me. So yeah, I don't use it. I was gonna use it for development, but I don't really use it. I got a SIM version watch. They have the law if they meet the letter of the law. Thank you, Great Gold. Can OS call to get EMI to be hooked to return fake IMEI? Yes, you can do that, Jerry. That would put you in jail. If you modify the IMEI, you will go to jail because you won't go to jail immediately. You have to be arrested first, but that is a federal crime in the Zucking U.S. to do anything to give out a false IMEI. They actually do that. There's tools out there to do that, to change IMEI numbers, and that's what they use to fake international calls, and they're actually putting it on your bill, and that's from IMEI. So they do that. Faking IMEI is a common process because the IMEI, you're moving to Romania, because IMEI number will be assigned to a bill. So if you use somebody else's IMEI, your bill will go to that person. That's why. Okay, so that's why it's important. For example, if you're using a lot of data and you use a particular IMEI, they'll bill the guy that owns that original IMEI number, and you'll be using his data, and he doesn't know why. He's being billed for large amounts of data, and because people are stealing IMEI numbers. Okay, so you can actually buy it on the internet. They sell a device that can generate a chip with the fake IMEI numbers, random. They just, hello, Beth. How are you doing, Beth? So I've only changed to my own IMEI for educational purposes only. I think you'll go to jail even though it's only for educational purposes. That will still bring you to jail. So I don't think you can change IMEI, period. Do you still have viewers, Beth? Because I don't. I will take the blue pill tonight. Do you still have a lot of viewers, Beth? Because I don't have any more viewers on Periscope. I'm just relying on YouTube now. It's like I went from famous on Periscope to infamous. I was up on Waxman Roof the other night. Okay, I have to be up early. We'll catch replay. I'll put those links, Sandra, on the YouTube video so you can check these IMEIs. No, not really. It's like where all the viewers go, right? There are 40 of us here. Lies, there are 40 of us here. There used to be 14,000 boycott box. There used to be 14,000 here. And on a slow day, it was 2,000. And now it's like 400. Okay, how many do I have now? It's like 314. It's like it's changing. Yeah, it's like 304. It was all about your squash. There's only 314 now for 44-minute broadcast. It's like crazy. So anyway, back to we're talking about EXIF data on photos. So that's what you're uploading to Facebook, Beth. Every time you upload data to Facebook, this is actually what you're sending to Facebook. Let me show you that again. in case you missed that. Okay, starting from the top here, this is what you're sending to Facebook. Okay, I will stop at halfway because it's like so much data. I don't really. Yes, Facebook will strip it off. Yes. Actually, what they do is convert the image to a smaller size. The smaller size doesn't have the EXIF. Okay, I will stop. I will stop here, which is about halfway, and I'll show you this other version here. This one shows the data with a photo, so you can actually see the actual location in a chart, and there it is, the exact location. So your photo has all of this metadata, which shows an exact location, and then the serial number of your device and other things that identify your device, including possibly IMEI numbers and serial numbers of the device. So it's fingerprints the exact phone you're using. So your phone is actually fingerprinting. So actually, this is just to give you a scenario. If you steal somebody's phone and then you use it on social media, your phone basically gets identified the moment you connect to the internet, even if you didn't connect a SIM card to it. You would actually be found out. Because everywhere you put this, then they can say, oh, there's the guy who stole the phone. Okay, and there's the exact location, okay, of this photo. That's the actual location. I parked my car in there and took a picture, so that is very precise. Okay? It actually is precise to within a few feet. It's a little off because I was actually on the other side of the street. So this is slightly off. Slightly off because it was on the other side of the street, but that's where I was. That's exactly where I was. Okay, so that's the data that's being sent with every photo. With 1.001. Okay, now knowing this. The thing that should come into your mind, and I told you about the story of my family coming in on Thanksgiving, and the first thing they do is they start snapping photos in my house, and they start snapping photos of everyone. And then Facebook adds another factor to the photo they just took of you. They now do facial recognition of each one. And you know this on Facebook, they'll mark every face and say, you know, tag this first person. Okay, so they tag the person, and the AI already knows who it is. So, you know, by tagging the person, it flags them on social media, but they already know who the person is in the photo. They've actually marked it for you because they've already done facial recognition. Now, here's what happens when this happens. Remember yesterday I was talking about the fact that we are zucked. So yesterday's scope was about the fact that it's not that we who are careful about our security are zucked up. We are being zucked by people who don't care about security, and they're actually zucking us all up. All it takes is for other people, hello Claire, all it takes is for other people not to care. And the ones that don't care will be uploading the photos. And what's going to happen, guys, is that you will now have a presence on the internet. Even if you're not on Facebook, they will know everywhere you've been in all those photos. Every time somebody takes a photo of you and uploads it to Facebook, somebody actually has then recorded your presence at that location with your identity on there. And the identity is based on, you know, some prior Facebook account you may have had. I had a Facebook account, so they could look back, and they didn't delete the data, so they can look back and say, oh yeah, that belongs to Rob with a closed account. So this must be his relatives because they're all there on Thanksgiving and at this location, and they're all gathered at this location every single fucking year. There's a pattern. They're always coming into this location on holidays, so that must be his house, and on and on and on. So this is like very, very invasive and creepy because you know, Why do they need to know that? So that's the reality of what we have to face with. And now a simple thing is uploading a photo on to Facebook. It's now connected. Yes, of course I always have turkey. 2 turkeys. I have 2 turkeys because there's 50 people here. So the two things, it combined with another factor here. So again, the photo has facial recognition. It has your device ID, like IMEI and other numbers identifying your device. It has your exact location. Okay, so that's 3 factors in there already. The device information, exact location, facial recognition, and then on top of that, they match it to contact lists. So how do they know? Let's say you don't have a Facebook account. Let's say that you don't have a Facebook account. They can now match your information to the contact list and say, we've seen these contacts together. So they must have some social relationship or family relationship from people uploading a contact list. So one of your friends or family, when they upload a contact list, has your name, your address, your phone number on there, and they upload it. So now they know everyone is connected, and they have what is called a relationship map with your photos, with your locations, and they have now created a big spy system just from the zucking photos. This is incredible. This is, just a little bit. It's just something as simple as photos, and this is the biggest source of data for Facebook. Now, one more thing here. So Facebook says, well, we're going to take these photos that you took at these locations, and we're going to take everything that's in the photo and archive them for whatever reason. So one of the things they started to archive was the pictures of tattoos. So if you have a tattoo picture, they archive that separately into a tattoo database. And I don't know what else they're archiving in there. Some other characteristic of you physically or something in your house. If there's something in your house in a photo, like what car you drive, I'm sure they're archiving that too. So they say, oh, this person here has a photo with a Prius, so this person must drive a Prius. Or I saw, preference for this brand of bottled water, and all of that's all in the picture. Anything in the picture now, they have object tracking. You can actually do this on Amazon. Nobody smokes in here. This is California. The only thing they smoke in California is weed. Nobody smokes cigarettes here anymore. Yeah, just weed. Yeah, nobody buys cigarettes anymore. They just buy weed. And the license plate of the car. Yes, whatever information that will be on there, they will actually store that into a database with a lookup. And by object, in Amazon, there's actually a programming tool. You supply it a bunch of images, it will actually identify objects you specify. Boycott box. No boycott box. I don't do that. Ban all machine learning. It's legal here in California, but I don't do that. I can admit to you if I do, since it's quite legal in California. And the reality is, no, I do not. I don't want my mind affected. It's enough that I have alcohol 1 day a week. That's the only time I have alcohol, 1 day a week, which is Adult Beverage Friday. I try not to take any alcoholic beverages in any other day because I'm too busy. I don't want my mind to be affected. What about the Alexa device? There's a video on the Alexa device. Yes, the Alexa device. That was my subject matter yesterday. Religious symbols. Yep. Beth, that was my subject yesterday. I was saying that we get zucked by the people around us, not by us, but we get zucked by people who don't care, that people with nothing to hide. So you go to somebody's house. You go to somebody's house, and they have Alexa Echo in there. And as I have a video on YouTube talking about this, the wake up word on Alexa is actually done at Amazon. So every sound it hears has to go to Amazon in order to determine that if you did a wake up word. So because every sound goes to Amazon, then obviously it can hear everything that goes on in the house. So it's actually a fake statement when they say, oh, it only sends commands to Amazon. That is not correct. I don't know why they lie about that. It is recording, yes. Now, Amazon claims they're not selling that data, or that they don't keep it, and so on. So, we have to. That's what they claim. So, but they even lie. They say, "Well, we don't keep it. Well, we don't record it." Well, they do record it because it's in the programming language. It's the way that. If you look at the way the programming works, it does send every word. I looked at it. There's the command is, you send the sound, you send it to Amazon, and Amazon says, yep, wake up word is on there or not. Obviously, you have to send the sound file. So the Alexa Echo is continuously sending sound files. And you can easily prove this. And it's on their documentation that they do this. If you want a safe version of Alexa, you shouldn't get one. But if you want a safe version of Alexa, I could make one for you. You can actually make your own Alexa, but you have to touch the button. Alexa actually allows that mode where you can touch a button on it. If you touch a button on it, that's the only time it will record sound. That is actually going to change the flavor of Alexa, rather than the talk at any time from a distance. Because the way Alexa works, it will actually understand you, from the other room. So you can give a command and say, Alexa, play some jazz. And it will, listen to you from the other room. And the problem with that is it's also listening to everything else. But if you are so lazy you can't use your zucking phone, if you have a device, I can actually make a Raspberry Pi into an Alexa Echo with a button. You can do that. So that's possible. So, but anyway, we're talking about photos here. So I'm going to show you. Do you think Alexa can still record you in secret while on button only mode? No, because the programmer, in this case, somebody like me, decides when the data goes to Amazon. You program it from the device itself. So the ones shipped by Amazon are set on auto. It hears the sound. It sends a program code to Amazon. If you write your own version of it, you can send only to Amazon if you press a button. So you can do that. So that's in theory, I can make a different version. If you really are so fond of Alexa Echo, in theory, I can make a version that can do that. If that were your desire. If you were so fond of Alexa and you said, I wonder if you can change my Alexa to be something else. Yep. It'll be more expensive, though, because a Raspberry Pi is more expensive than an Alexa Echo. So, anyway, the problem, again, is not just that the photos are being collected. The problem is just not that the photos are being collected by itself and not just location. It's actually used to match to everything else and are matched to patterns. Now, here, some of you may not realize this, but let's say you turn off location, but they've already identified your device using the other metadata on there, such as the IMEI number and so on. They've identified your device already. So even if you stop sending location, they can already match it to you anyway. So I'll give you an example. If you post a picture on Facebook with location, and then you post the same picture with location off to Instagram, they will now say, oh, you're the same account. Why? The photos have the same IMEI number. Zuck you. You see what the problem is? How about this? You use WhatsApp. You upload a photo to WhatsApp and say, I'm going to send a photo. They look at the IMEI number in the photo, and WhatsApp says, oh, this is your secret message, and we know where you're sending it to. And now that we know the IMEI number and the phone number, because that's the way you send messages on WhatsApp is by phone number, then we also know what your Facebook account is, because you also give your Facebook account a phone number. So we match all of that together. So now, you have a kind of a workflow of all of the conversations. It's zucked up, folks. Some of you may not, some of you just don't. I just started using WhatsApp. Beth, I don't know what to tell you. This is why, everyone is just, they hear whatever they say in the press. So if photos have eye, why is this not breaking news on CNN? CNN? Because they're going to care? I told you this. This is the, this is on The View. Whoopi Goldberg says, what? My ISP is watching my email. My ISP is reading my email. Oh my gosh. We better kill Trump now and whatever. Because my ISP is watching my email. This is zucked up. She didn't say zucked up. I said that. So, Whoopi Goldberg is zucked up because I've been telling you that, yes, your ISP has been reading your email. I've been telling you that for 4 zucking years. Why is that not top news on CNN? You tell me. Why is Hillary using email when she knows that somebody can read it? Okay? So there you go. I don't know. You have to watch me to know what the truth is because you don't get the real story out there. I don't know why because nobody cares. So, someday somebody will care. Right now, no one is. They're oblivious to what I talk about here. They say, "Oh, this guy is the conspiracy theorist because he's talking about this conspiracy theory targeting your data." And I was like, "Say, zuck you! There's not a single conspiracy theory than what I talk about." Okay, no conspiracy theory here, Beth. Everything I talk about is factual and technical. When I say that Alexa Echo does that, I could write you my own version of Alexa Echo using the same programming code that Amazon uses because it's open. You can use it. I can make my own version of Alexa, make my own device, and not have it function with the automatic listening, sending your entire conversations to Amazon. Why do I know that? Because I am a programmer. I can look at it and hello, Tamsin. It is. It said. This is why it's such a lie. It's on there. I don't know if it actually originally did that. They wanted to improve the performance, so they did this on the may have been on the second version. How are you doing, Tamsin? Still on Periscope. Hello, Raz7 Chris 7. Fax is still safe as long as you don't use eFax. eFax will take off the safety to be slightly less safe. But if you use fax machines, they're very safe. Okay? Fax machines are very safe. The reason it's analog. Very difficult to decrypt it because it's analog. Fine on YouTube too. Are you watching me on YouTube or subscribe to my YouTube? Thank you. Yes, please subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to make as much content as I can for all of you. So what I'm going to show you now, we're going to switch to a solution mode here. Yes, fax machines are safe. That's why in medical, a twin mom in the medical field, the only, aside from snail mail, the only safe way to transmit documents that is not email and encrypted or some encrypted form is by fax. You're allowed to send faxes unencrypted. You're not allowed to use email in medical. Black Passion 36. So much data on me out there. No privacy. Someone's always watching. Wondering if someone watching. Yes, of course. Somebody's always watching. Of course, somebody's always watching. This is why I do this. Hold on a second. I'm gonna start the solution now. My pediatrician does the fax. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I got to log into Brax here to show you the solution. So I have an app while I'm talking here. I have an app. It's called Brax.me. And you can download it from the App Store for Android and iOS. Or you can use it on a computer. And this app, so here's the app here. Let me go to photos. Okay. So what I'm going to do so these are the photos in here. I'm going to upload that same photo that you saw the EXIF data on. I'll show you before and after. So I upload a photo, the same one here, the same photo. I will upload that. Okay, uploading right now. Okay, the photo's been uploaded to Brax. I will now, eScript doesn't have to be safe. It's open, but it's, doesn't have to be safe. It's what it is. Okay, so there's the photo. I'm gonna enlarge the photo. So there's the photo in question. Okay, and I will now download that. In fact, let me download it to a specific area here, to the desktop. Okay, I'm gonna download it to the desktop. Okay, well now it's supposedly on the desktop now, but where is it? So let me see. Where'd it go? Should be in here somewhere. I don't know where it went. Didn't go in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is the document. Okay, so this is I'm gonna show you. This is the old one and the new one. So they're the same picture. Okay, this one is from Brax. So I'm gonna label this from Brax. Okay, this is the one from Brax right here. This is the original one. Okay, now I'm gonna use the same exif viewer to show you what it shows about each one. So I'm now going to look at that one there, the one that says Brax, and then look at the exif data. And let's see what it says. Whoa! There's the exif data on it. Nothing. Nada. Completely blank exif. Okay, this is how you can test it. So Brax.me automatically strips off any exif. So if I were you, before I post it on social media, upload it to Brax first on your phone, save it on the phone, then before you upload it to social media, and then when you want to upload it, download it back, upload it. Okay, and I'm just going to show you the original one to show you I'm not cheating here. This is the original one before I stripped off the data. Okay, and there's all the data right there. Okay, location. This is before I did the Brax. Okay, so all the exif data stripped off. So that's what I do on Brax. So let me tell you again what it is. So the app is Brax.me. This runs on your phone. So if you're on a phone, it'll look like this. So if you're on a phone, you swipe, go to My Photos, and there's the upload button, and then you upload and select from your photo library, and then you can upload in bunches of 500 photos. You can upload all your photos. So you can upload all your photos on here, and you can keep it here, forever. It's free, and keep your photos on Brax, and then when you want to use it on social media, either you share a link from here, because all of the photos here, there's the link. See that on the bottom? I guess you can't see on the bottom. Let me raise it up here. So there's a link to each photo. You can share this link on social media. And in fact, here it is. I'll launch the link. There's the link of the photo. This is what you can post on Facebook. Post the link instead of the actual photo. Post the link on Facebook. There's no metadata, and they don't. Not only is there no metadata, guys, Zuck doesn't get to keep your photo. Do you understand what I just showed you here? You post a link to your social media, and you're not actually posting the photo. You're posting only the link. The link then doesn't give them the photo. Yeah, of course it still looks good, yes. So it's still a big picture here. Why, yes, I do. storage space with no data. Okay, I actually play even more of a trick here because I actually even play a little game with the link here, so to make sure that they don't take the data. I give them a fake image too. So that's something that is available to you. It's called what again? This link? No, this is Brax.me. So you have to be on the Brax.me app. Okay, this is the website for Brax.me. You can download the app on for iOS and Android. Many of us in Periscope are on it. Okay, then on the app itself. So log into the app. There's you can chat with the rest of us. You can find me on here, and everyone chats on Brax. You can see lots of people on here. You know, mostly people on Periscope. There's like 8,000 people in here. Android Brax up does not. Why would it not work? It works for me. Want to help me do tech support on that? Just kill the app and start again. It's probably remembering some bad cookie in there. Okay, so there I am on Brax. You can chat with me right there. But you can store your photos on Brax for free. And so here I uploaded that photo. So if you upload a photo like I did here, there's the photo I uploaded. And then if you want to share it on social media, at the bottom there's a link you can share. If you share the link, I'm scrubbing all my JPEG metadata ASAP. Yeah, if you share the link, then they don't get the metadata because they don't have the actual image, and Brax strips off the data anyway. Okay, so that makes sense. You understand, boss. I like the folder system. Okay, so anyway, that's the one of the solutions I have. It's a simple solution, and it's free. Doesn't cost you anything, and just utilize it because I built it for you. I built it for knowing that this is an issue, and you know it's nobody really cares. You know, I build all these solutions and I don't make money from them, and nobody really cares because you know. You all think I'm a conspiracy theorist. So conspiracy theory aside, you know, I build tools for you. I'm going to make a new app version in the next, you know, at some point here. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to make. I'm going to make a file vault. You care, Master Sir Kalb. I'm going to make a file vault in the next, you know, couple of months, 3 months, whenever I get the chance to do this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a end-to-end encrypted file vault. A place to keep your files on the internet, not like Dropbox, but with end-to-end encryption. Where you keep the password, I don't keep the password, and you store it. You store it on this free tools. I'm going to upload. Yeah, do that. You can upload 10K pictures. But I will actually, it's going to be a paid service, but it will be an end-to-end encrypted file vault. And it can also be used, I will add a feature to do a backup. And again, the idea is that the password is kept by you. I don't keep your password. Then that way the encryption, I don't know how it's going to be encrypted. So if somebody ever captures the data from the server, they can't make use of it. If you're a conspiracy wire, Zuckman all being called to Congress, you are 99 steps. We are not worthy. No, you are worthy. I'm the one that's not worthy, apparently. So the link tip, yes, Twist Mint, the link tip. So I'm going to. This is just my thought process here, just telling you what I'm up to. So if I die, the password goes with. Yes, if you die, then the password goes with you, just like the guy who lost all the Bitcoin for the big corporation. So the cryptocurrency firm put all of their Bitcoin into a file vault, and they kept it offline storage, and they kept it with a password of the the original guy, and nobody had the copy of the password. Hello, Michelle. Nobody had a copy of the password, and then what happened? How you doing, Michelle? And then what happened? Well, the guy died. The guy died. So they lost all the couple of $100 million worth of Bitcoin. Thank you, Tamsin. Thank you, Michelle. How are you doing? Rut row bad news. I am well. Talk to us from Brax, Michelle. You've disappeared on us. So this is you know I'm just to show you what his name. No, it's probably password. Just to show you the what I'm going through and what the process is. I'm building up my YouTube account. I'm making sure that my YouTube account is, has a lot of content in there, and that I'm trying to build a brand new community outside of Periscope so that I can get the expanded community out there and hopefully get a bigger crowd. I'm too early for I don't play song anymore, Michelle, because on YouTube I don't play it because they might strike my video. So I don't play the song anymore. I'll have to do it on Periscope only. I can't do it on YouTube. So anyway, OMG, yes, that's because I'm always careful. Your song, the anonymous tune, yes, the anonymous tune. I share your videos all I can. Thank you, Pygmy. Can you play the anonymous music? So that's why I don't play it, just because I don't want to. Besides, it doesn't seem to help my numbers. Every time I play music, people leave. So rather than extend it for another half an hour, I just do music videos. So Michelle, I have so many music videos on my channel. So if you like music, there's still music there. Do you know of a way of turning off my car's location data? That's built into the car itself. My Wi-Fi pacemaker will email my Bitcoin. Do you know that there's a hack to your Wi-Fi pacemaker? Did you know, Jerry in Portland, that there's that somebody figured out how to hack your pacemaker? Thank you, Michelle. So yeah, I put look at the music on there, Michelle. If you don't like to watch my thing, yes, Jerry, they found a hack to pacemakers. They're weeding out the fans with bad taste in music. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for inviting your followers. So yes, they yes, pacemaker. Yes, somebody hacked, and the company says we don't have a fix yet, but keep using your pacemaker. Actually, he said we don't have a fix yet, but keep using your pacemaker. Don't stop using your pacemaker because of an app. And the funny, thank you, Michelle. So it's really funny that you go think about some scenario here where the CIA and the National Zucking Agency, the CIA and the National Zucking Agency wants to shut you down, or maybe some Russian agent. They said, we want to shut down this. We want to shut down this person here. And how do we do it? He has a pacemaker. Jerry in Portland has a pacemaker. They just have a 0 day on that pacemaker. 0 day on a pacemaker. The 0 day means there's a hack on it. They can shut down the Zucking pacemaker and maybe have it, beat widely so it shuts you down. Give me your info or I'll shut your pacemaker off. Yep. That's kind of the craziness that we actually have. Dick Cheney would have his remote disabled. No, he'd have to keep outside of Bluetooth range. This is gonna give me a nightmare. Yeah, you're gonna get out of Bluetooth range. If somebody approaches you within 10 feet, you say, "What the zuck?" I went and downloaded Braxby. Thank you, Shoes of Peace. Meteors might drop on us all too, but it's not likely. Thank you for downloading Braxby. It's free. It's a free app. You like Bob the Cat have the ability to be both a public figure and an enigma. Bob the Cat is more of an enigma. I show my face. Bob the Cat doesn't show his face. Maybe just stand in front of a microwave. Bob the cat doesn't show his face. I show my face. So, hello, Doug. Alexa, speed my pacemaker up, please, so you don't have a smart car. At the moment, I do not have a smart car. I do want to get one eventually, though, so it can drive me around. Need to create a device to check for skimmers that collect CC data. Need to create a device to check. That's pretty hard, Eagle, because some of them are hardwired to the device itself. Meaning it's not necessarily you're assuming that the connection is by radio frequency. It's not. The new credit cards like this, that chip is contact only. Contact only chip. Okay, contact only chip there. Siri, access my brain to say things that make Rob nicer. Kelp is very easy. Just don't just make sense. Kelp, talk about the things that make sense. Like, is Bob the cat a ragdoll breed? Not the RFIC flat Earth stuff. I am not a RFID is not flat Earth stuff. RFID can actually be tracked. You need a CC scammer, not a scanner. RFID is not a joke. Who said that? I forgot who said it. RFID. Oh, Kelp. RFID. The old one, the Generation A RFID, works only within a few feet. Okay, someone here. There's a scoper. What's his name? Forget his name, but he actually attacked me here. It is Kelp. You're wrong. I'm going to tell you in a second. You are wrong, Kelp. You're quite wrong, but because you don't understand the facts here. Okay, I'm going to tell. This is an interesting story. I'd be happy to deviate here. AI is arrived to YouTube to destroy flat Earth. Okay, let me. You're considering RFID for my health records? What the fuck does that mean? RFID doesn't store your data. An RFID is an identification. Okay, RFID Gen A, the Generation A RFID, was made to work only within 6 inches. Okay? That's because there's an FCC ruling that says send a signal. I don't know if you know how RFID works. Kelp, do you know how RFID works? Do you know how RFID works, Kelp, just in theory? Without being an electrical engineer? Just say yes or no. Okay. If the earth is flat, these emojis are wrong. It could be a flat disk. Induction. No, it's reflective. So RFID works by reflecting the RF. So you basically, let's say this is the RFID. Well, I have an actual one. No, this is not RFID. This is not RFID. This is not RFID. Just want to make it clear. This is a credit card. That is not RFID. Okay? RFID is built into some credit cards, but it's not very popular anymore. So this is actually a specific chip, yeah. And it's really not an NFC chip because it's actually contact-based. It's a contact-based chip. So when we're talking RFID, we are not talking about this. That is not RFID. RFID is in your new passports. RFID is in many driver's licenses from many states. That's required now by TSA. Okay? So a lot of driver's licenses have RFID on it, and a lot of passports, all new passports have RFID on it. Okay? But what they put on the passport is called Gen B. That's not the same with what I'm talking about right now, which is Generation A. The Gen A worked within about 6 inches. So let's say that this is an RFID device. Okay? So you go to one of the biggest users of RFID is, of course, at the store. So you go to Walmart, and you pass them the product, and they attach a scanner. The scanner detects the RFID, and the scanner sends an RF signal. It reflects back. It then captures the reflection and says that has the data. So you send it an RF signal. It reflects data back. The reflection is what is read, or in some cases it could be powered. Some RFIDs are a little bigger because they have a little battery in there. So there's a little charge that will hold the charge for a while. But many RFIDs are just flat. The flat ones don't have a battery. So when you have an RFID and they scan it within 6 inches, so they say, oh, okay, so RFID works only within 6 inches or so. Well, you kind of know the range because when you walk out of the store with a product, it beeps and says, you're a sucking thief. So that gives you the average range for RFID, which is a few feet, because they figured it out, you know, that if you're going to walk out of the store, they want to know that you're carrying a product that's been stolen. That's what RFID is for, right? Okay, here's where the fake news is, okay? Because they say, well, the range of an RFID is only like, 3 feet or so. 3-4 feet at the most. Mostly 3 feet. And so, or less. So that's the only range. So they're not important. They're not critical because of the range. Okay? This is false. 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 Kelp is completely wrong. This is false. Here's why. The reason that it works only to 3 feet, listen to me here. The reason it works only to 3 feet is because there's an FCC ruling on the strength of the signal. They gave you a certain wattage. You only use, don't go over 1 watt or half a watt or whatever, who knows what it is. But whatever the signal is on the commercial device that you use to send the RFID, that signal is limited in wattage by the FCC for generation A. So if you're a bad guy, Kelp, why would you limit yourself? You're already doing a criminal thing. Why would you limit yourself to whatever wattage the FCC says? So if you're a bad guy, or you're with the CIA or somebody exempt like the National Zucking Agency, you're going to go send 5,000 watts on this. So you can read it from a far distance. Okay, so they actually did an experiment, Kelp, just so you can watch the video here to show you that I'm not ducking kidding you, okay? A hacker at DEF CON is the hackers conference. The DEF CON guy used an RFID reflective device, put it on a location, and then he used a commercial scanner and then scanned it and see if it reflected data. It did. So then the conclusion was that if you are somebody powerful like the government, you can have a very powerful and pointed RF signal, with focused signal with a lot of force, and you can actually listen to anything. You can actually use the RFID to listen to somebody in a house. Okay, you can send out the RFID as an insect coming into the house. It can land on your ceiling. Then they can just focus the RFID on it and spy on you forever without power. It doesn't need any power. It's reflective. Okay, here's the new problem, Kelp. Here's the new problem. The government, because of the TSA, said, we want to use a new kind of chip, RFID, on driver's licenses and passports. And the new one is called Generation B, Gen B chips. And these chips have a range of 30 meters. 30 meters. That way, when you're driving past a border, you don't even have to stop. They already captured your driver's license, unencrypted, unencrypted, and your passport information with your full name and address and everything and your birth date unencrypted from your device. So that means all you're gonna have to do is put a listening device at every building, and you're gonna know based on their driver's license who's walking into the building. Pygmy, it depends on that's the FCC validated or approved signal strength, Pygmy. As I already told you, if you follow the law, you're limited to whatever the specs are. If you're not following the law, you can use more power investing in RFID scanner. Yes, you're going to have to put your passport and so on in a Faraday cage, in a Faraday bag. Yes. So you're going to have to do that when you travel. This is the world, we're coming into. So you walk into a building and immediately, I can just imagine, commercial buildings and so on, and they want to say, wow, we want to know who's walking in and out. And they can have the security they're already doing that some other way. When did the feds ever follow? That's exactly my point, Pygmy. The feds don't have to follow the rule of the FCC. They can claim exemption. So law enforcement can say, well, you have a 1 kilowatt limit on the signal, and but we're the government, we're going to use 100 kilowatts. So the FCC won't let you be. Yes, I had that happen recently. So I'm just telling you what the reality is out there. It's kind of crazy what they can do. So you can actually go be surveilled, and you have no idea you're being surveilled. I'm going to tell you something else that's kind of similar to this. They don't even need an RFID anymore. Trump and Zuck. They don't even want 121 gigawatts. They don't even need a RFID. I'm going to tell you why. Because this sucker here is already revealing your information. This device is being used by some stores like the Walmarts of the world, Targets, and so on. They track you here with a MAC address. MAC address. Now, let me tell you how this works. This only works in a local area network. It doesn't go to the internet, but it can be used for locally tracking a device. When you walk into a building, your device automatically searches for Wi-Fi. This device automatically searches for Wi-Fi. I call that promiscuous mode, or someone may call it monitoring mode, okay? So this device has Wi-Fi on it that's continuously searching, promiscuous mode, monitoring mode, whatever. Okay, so this one is emitting a signal, and then the Wi-Fi's around you are seeing the MAC address. The MAC address of this is being displayed. Okay, so any device that shows up on a network can be spotted by their MAC address. Okay, said young man built an amplifier to 5 kilowatts. Are you sure that's not gigawatts? So, how is this useful? Well, it's very useful, guys, because if you have a lot of access points in a store, like some sort of a mesh router, you can actually identify where the you can triangulate where the MAC address is location-wise inside the building, and use that for marketing purposes. So you can actually go and say, okay, somebody walks into the door with his phone. Let's track and see what shelf, how he walks to the store, and which shelves he goes into, he or she goes into, and then if they go into the cashier, and they can actually plot your movement using the MAC address of this. So that's kind of similar to RFID, but now attached to your phone, because we all have this. Okay, so any phone with Wi-Fi has a MAC address. That MAC address can be tracked. It's kind of crazy. So, like corporate security, places like that. If you actually are being aware of this, you don't realize that even simply walking around with a phone, and you're not doing anything. Not only are you being triangulated by Apple and Google, the local area network will actually spot where you are. Okay, they catch me all the time in storeroom with Stormy. There you go, Sir Calb. So that's But on put on airplane mode, no, that doesn't. No, airplane mode might work. Yeah, actually yes. Airplane mode doesn't stop Wi-Fi triangulation, but it can stop the MAC address. Yeah, because that has to emit a signal. Wi-Fi triangulation is receiving a signal. That doesn't require switch. That's passive. Sending out a MAC address is kind of like roaming. It's out there sending a pulsing signal. So yes, if you go airplane mode, that should stop the MAC address. Now, let me just tell you something. Back in version, I believe it's version 9 of iOS, Apple actually started to scramble the MAC address because they knew of this problem. So Apple scrambled the MAC address back in iOS version in 2009, and technically they couldn't make it work. You can change your MAC address on a computer on a desktop pretty easily. You may need some sort of app to do it on a phone, but the problem is it doesn't stick there. You know, every time you start, it goes back to the original MAC address. So it's kind of a lot of work. But you can. It's very easy to spoof a MAC address. It's a single command on Linux. Airplane mode doesn't stop receiving a signal, but it stops sending of a MAC address. Yes, it stops a active transmit, is what I'm really saying. Hawaii dealer. It stops a transmission of a signal. It allows receiving. So because the airplane mode, the reason they don't like you to use airplane mode on an airplane is if you send a transmission, that the RF signal that it sends will do something to the airplane. That's the premise, which they have proven doesn't actually do anything. But airplane mode stops you from transmitting, because in receiving mode, it's just like a transistor radio. You know, it's just receiving signal. It doesn't send anything, so it doesn't have a lot of power requirement when it's just receiving the signal. So that's, you know, that's why triangulation mode is kind of deadly, because in triangulation mode, everywhere you go, the device is storing all the locations, and then when you connect to the internet, it's able then to upload all of the stored and queued locations. So that's why it's awful. That's for mongering on the airlines. Mongering. What's fear mongering? You mean the airplane mode? Yes, the airlines actually. Oh, the hospitals also said you cannot use Wi-Fi. This is the hospitals. You cannot use Wi-Fi in hospitals because it affects medical devices. It's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Okay. Now, you know, I've been in every fucking hospital, and I used Wi-Fi back in the day when they said you can't use this. They finally gave up on that because they found out it doesn't have any impact. Because fuck you, I've been using Wi-Fi in hospitals. I put in equipment for Wi-Fi in hospitals. It has no effect. It's not true. So now they finally figured it out. It's wild to scan FM stations while at 40,000 feet up. Have you tried that, Jerry? But you don't want anybody to scan your zucking pacemaker, Jerry. The same thing with using it on airplanes. Hospitals need to stop being drama queens. There are people with paranoia about electricity. Yeah, yes, Kelp. I know. 5G. What did I miss? Hello, Michelle. 5G. So somebody was complaining the conspiracy theory about 5G. Is 5G is a 5G, is it that another QAnon thing? A 5G conspiracy? So some of you are like telling me, aren't you worried about 5G? You know, it's like, no. Just FYI, I did research radio frequency. You know, I did study medicine, so way back in the day, I studied frequency effects on frequency RF frequency effects on the body, and there was no study that showed that it had any effect whatsoever. So If you show me a study, then maybe I'll pay attention to you. But until there is one, then yeah. Come on, Doug. You don't know. You don't know what 5G is. It's like you don't know what 4G is. You must know what 4G is, right? AirPod safe. That's just Bluetooth. Let's start a Wi-Fi pacemaker security company. Thank you for the super heart, Michelle. Thank you for the super heart. What's going to happen when we get to 10G? It's going to be 10 times more powerful? That's not what that means, by the way. That's just the generation. It's all the software changes that they make. So, obviously, by the time we get to 10G, they want you to be able to, transport yourself through the internet using, Star Trek. The Star Trek transporter. So they need 10G for that. So, Rob, why are there all those videos on YouTube scaring people about the medical facts for 5G? What angle are they getting? I don't really know, Tamsin. I have to find a actual medical document that actually says somebody did an actual study before you pay attention to stuff like that, okay? Unfortunately, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You have to base it on a true, study with placebo subjects and so on. Same angle as flat. I know the Earth isn't flat, Kelp. I flew over the Earth and it wasn't flat. I flew over the Earth, Kelp. It wasn't flat. When 10G becomes available, there might be driverless cars already. There's already driverless cars available now, John. There's already cars available now. It's about the views. Beam me up. Yes. So anyway, that's just just giving you some facts on. I wanted to respond to Kelp on RFID because that's very specific. RFID is very invasive technology. The one pushing it was a TSA, and it's very, very invasive because there's no actual encryption to it. The way RFID works is you send a signal and it sends the data back stored on the device with no way of filtering it. Whereas this one is not RFID, and it's not even NFC, Kelp. This one is contact. This has to be in contact. So this is even better than NFC. It's contact based. Okay? So because it's contact based, there is really no RF signals with it. So this is actually better. Okay? Contact based. Although it doesn't mean that they're still not hacking, credit cards. They still are. So I don't really know. When it comes to the internet, these days, everyone knows everything about everything. Yes, but don't put me in that category, Doug. Don't put me in that category. I actually know what I'm talking about. So you must have realized now, Doug, that when you're using Thunderbird, you can't use PIA. My Huawei phone is like a handheld iMac. You make it harder on those trying to keep the bad guys out of our hoods. It's not very hard, Kelp. I want to make for the bad guys, meaning the government, from disturbing the peace of the good guys, meaning the people. Okay? No, this is not near field, John. This is not near field. This is not near field. This chip requires contact. This is not near field. Near field would be your phone using Apple Pay. That would be near field. You'll never find a picture of me online, not even on my friend's post anywhere. As I said to what's his name? Ron Waxman. If you put your dick pics on the internet, just make sure it doesn't have your face on there. Any concerns for NFC? Not necessarily on these because it's encrypted. Aren't you proud? the problem. I want you to distinguish this. Kelp, use your smarts to figure this out. RFID has no kind of. It's not a computer, so there's no way to scramble the data. So a an RFID being a static device is static. It has a static value. Because it's static, it doesn't actually it contains the identifier. It doesn't have a way to encrypt it, so it's visible to anyone who takes the data. That's the problem. This one, using Apple Pay, for example, will encrypt the data in near field. So then it will establish a connection, and they can use protocols for encrypting the data transfer with AES 256 and so on. Okay, so that's the difference. Thank you, Wuji Budao, and I hope you do follow me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would if you like what I talk about, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So anyway, I want to again do iSocial Fit didn't show up, right? Because I wanted to make sure you heard that comment about the VPN router. So again, to close it out here, I want to talk again about the VPN router I had yesterday. So I updated the YouTube video with the links there to show you what to buy if you want to buy one or make yourself one, or you can buy it from me and I will. That's not true, Hawaii dealer. There are no RFID stripes on $100 bills, and even if they did, it wouldn't say anything other than that it's a $100 bill. I can use Apple Pay at McDonald's now. Doug is so happy. Now you just need money that you can pay with. Right, Doug? Now you just need the money for Apple Pay. So I made a device. As some of you know, I have a VPN. It's bytesvpn.com. And I'll make a video in this coming week about why that's a superior VPN. But what I did over the last couple of weeks is I made a VPN router. So I programmed a Raspberry Pi computer and turned it into a VPN router, and that means that you don't have to put any device on a VPN. They just connect to the router and they're on a VPN. I need CBD. Every digital artifact has a footprint. Yes, it does. So bad guys can see me. Hawaii dealer, that makes sense, doesn't it? But yeah, that makes sense. Hawaii dealer, they say, oh, somebody has lots of RFID signals in there. Yeah, but $100 bills do not have RFID. Somebody check that. It's not the case. I won't use Apple Pay. Cash is king. You just told me you're going to use it at McDonald's. So anyway, I made a VPN router. Now, what is the purpose of VPN router? Somebody said, we don't understand what all this hardware is. Well, let me just tell you this. You all need a VPN. This is, I think I've established this a million times, that in this day and age, there's almost no excuse to not have a VPN. Everyone must have it. It's not an option. Okay? Everyone must have a VPN. If you don't have a VPN, well, you're promoting it, Doug. I presume you like that. So if you don't have a VPN and you need to have one, it's primary thing with safety on the internet. If you don't have a VPN, then somebody knows all the porn sites you visit. Somebody knows everything you do, every click, every search. Can read all of your email without limitations by your ISP and everyone else. Okay, so VPN is important. The problem is, if you have many people in your household, it's a bit of a task to say, let's collect all of your devices, because you got your iPhones, your iPads, your computers, and all the miscellaneous things like Alexa Echo in the house, IoT devices, your security cameras, everything is on the internet. Am I getting one for being a long-time listener for free? No, nobody gets it for free or I'll go broke. So the VPN router idea is to say, well, since we can't go around and install VPNs on every sucking device, you can fight back a different way by putting the router as a VPN router, a Wi-Fi router that routes directly to the VPN. So without doing anything, you actually just install the VPN router at home. And, if you want, install a couple of them, different parts of the house, and they're automatically protected, and everyone just doesn't even know that they're using a VPN. They don't need to care that they're using a VPN or not. They just are going to be using a VPN, and that protects you, the homeowner, because your IP address is not going to be revealed by anyone borrowing your Wi-Fi, by your security devices, by Alexa Echo and all that, and it just hides your IP address. And that's very important. I got a free Alexa with my Ring security camera. I don't use it. So let's say you use a Ring security camera and you want to connect it to the internet. So that's a problem because it will then, reveal your IP address and all that, and as well as to hackers. So the answer is you use a VPN router and then it routes all that through the VPN encrypted. So what is a VPN? A VPN encrypts your traffic on the first leg from wherever the VPN is installed all the way to whatever. So if you have a VPN router, the VPN router will encrypt your traffic from the VPN router to the rest of the internet until it exits out from the VPN server, which will be at a different location. So you will appear to be coming from the VPN server. And that's why no one can identify you, because you're mixed in with other people coming in from some unknown server someplace. And you will not need a Tor browser. You can still use a Tor browser. Nobody stops you from doing that. And my device can actually be switched to a Tor browser or a Tor or a VPN router. Sorry, it can be switched between two modes: Tor router mode or VPN router mode. And it's made to work very, very easily with bytesvpn.com. With bytesvpn.com, it works automatically. Some of you are not on bytesvpn.com and you still want to use this. Some of you, like Doug, are on PIA. Okay, since I was recommending PIA, many of you are on PIA. Okay? So this is the question. Will this device work with PIA? The answer is yes. I just have to give you the command to download the profiles. You do have to go type something in to the computer, to the Raspberry Pi, to download the configuration you want from PIA, and then it will work for PIA. Guaranteed. Okay? So it will work for PIA. So I will document that. And then, but WPA3 is, if Windows supports it in April, hardware would take a long time. Only problem regarding home security, the cops should know where to go in an emergency. Also, I never renewed my PI. Oh, you never renewed your PIS. You can stick to Tor routing. So Doug can stick to Tor routing. Okay, so I guess you don't even need the PIA link. But if you have PIA and you still have a subscription, you can convert the VPN router to use PIA while you have that subscription going, before you switch it over to to Bytes VPN. Okay. Can you get Netflix through it? At one point I could. It kind of changes day by day. So it's a day by day thing. Some days it works with Netflix. Some days it doesn't. So I'm certain if I can get a good deal. I'm already giving you a good deal. It's $49. Everybody else pays $149. Yes, I will give you an update to the WPA3 when it becomes available. Yes, I myself will want to do that. Yes, it might even self-update. So it might even self-update to WPA3. We'll find out when the time comes. Okay. So if it doesn't self-update to WPA3, I will make sure to if there's something that actually changes, I will make sure to give you a new chip. So it's no big deal to ship a chip. A chip can be sent in mail. You are not on WPA anything. Okay. WPA is not available. So I don't know what you're talking about. You're on WPA 2. That's a deal. Yeah, you don't have to buy a router later on. I will definitely just be able to give you a chip. Will it become self-aware after the update? No, we will make sure it doesn't become self-aware. How much is it? The VPN router, including the Raspberry Pi, everything included, is $149, and then you need a VPN subscription if you want to have a VPN. So that and Bytes VPN subscription. So the router you only buy once. The VPN is an annual thing. That's the same. Every VPN. Shipping is $7 for the $7 for the Raspberry Pi for the VPN router. No, it does not include a VPN subscription. Obviously, nobody will include that. Okay, so that's standard. Now, if you want to compare, Gina, in the commercial VPN routers sold by you can find them on Amazon. The same kind of what I'm talking about, because you can't look at some things that are called VPN routers. They're not the same thing. This is a Wi-Fi router that routes through a VPN. So the wording can be inaccurate. The equivalent product to this is flashrouters.com, and they sell a VPN router pre-configured for whichever VPN you want for $250 to $500 a unit. So $250 to $500 for a router, VPN router. So that just gives you an idea of the going rate. So, and I'm selling kind of a smaller version of it. It's not as powerful as those ones because it's a little smaller, and mine is $149. And the reason that theirs is more expensive because they're using the bigger routers. And I'm trying to I can make those too, but rather than use the big ones, I'm trying to, settle on a common market. Thank you, Shoes of Peace. So at $149, it's not as strong as a signal as the more expensive one, but it does the job for quite a bit less. So I can make it use the big router, but it's going to cost $250. So because the router itself, the hardware, like $199 for the hardware. Yeah, it works. Which one works with mesh? No, my router is separate from mesh, so it doesn't interfere with mesh. My VPN router does not interfere with the mesh. It's a separate Wi-Fi. I'm just bought out of guy's trunk of his car for $30. Just kidding. Out of a guy's. I don't know what you're saying, Doug. I just bought out of a guy's trunk of his car for $30. I just bought one out of a guy's trunk for $30. I wonder if I buy from the van driving down the road. Bought one out of the guy's trunk. Yes, that's what he was saying. Anyway. Thank you for watching. I'm again to kind of fashion what I've been trying to do the last few weeks here, changing my program to be a lot more educational, and giving you some specifics on how to solve these problems, and also the other thing that I'm gonna look at also are devices for your homes and things, and see what works, what security cameras might be useful for us, and choose one and maybe do a review and see if they work, they don't work, they're dangerous, not dangerous, and what are the risks to using each one. I'll get what I gotta see. So I will try to to do all this and educate and kind of mix it into what I talk about. It's more pay the bills this month. So I want to educate because a lot of what I do in the past has been just telling a story, but I want to translate into real life things that you and I need to worry about, since I happen to also be an expert in the tech side. So obviously I can tell you, hey, Mitch, the world's ending for you. I got to pay his mortgage soon. Yeah, I got to pay my mortgage. I don't make any money. This is really funny. I went full time to doing these broadcasts and doing a show, and which means I'm not doing anything else. So I actually only make money from the products I make for this, which is Bytes VPN and the Tor router and so on. So, that does not include a VPN. No, you still have to subscribe to whatever VPN you want. Thank you for missing me, Mitch. Do you still have an audience on Periscope? I don't. Do you still have people watching you on Periscope? Oh my! I'm surprised. I actually have 728 viewers tonight. I'm actually going to get to 1,000 viewers. That's incredible. I certainly didn't expect that. Yes, Hawaii dealer. I'm trying to do that, and I need to expand the audience. If I have a bigger audience that can buy, I warm your RFID, but I don't warm your Bluetooth pacemaker. I'm trying to build a larger audience because there's enough of you that can actually benefit from my product that I can make a living if I do this. If I have an expanded audience, and that's what I'm trying to do, is expand the audience, and hopefully, the product that I make will be useful for all, because it's not. Thank you for the super heart, Christy G. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I also have a Patreon account, Rob Braxman on Patreon, if you want to support me that way as well. So if you Rob Braxman Tech on Patreon, yeah. So if you understand the importance of my message and the fact that we need to be heard and we need to spread the message, and you want to support this full-time activity of mine doing this. This is the first time I've gone full-time on this, and it's very hard to do, because it means if I go full-time on this, I'm cracking out these videos, several times a week, and the videos take many hours to make each one, and I don't make any living in the meantime, and so I only make a living from the products that I sell here. So it's a tough way to do this, and I hope this will. You tell me if this will work. I think that if the market expands and people see my message, I have enough people that can buy these products, and then I'll be able to live. So thank you, Mitch. So that's my objective, because I'm just gonna be focusing on helping you, and hopefully it will work out. So that's our plan right now, and YouTube is doing okay. It's growing, and I just need more subscribers on YouTube, and then the viewership is expanding, the hours watched, and I'll be reaching 4K hours sometime in April. So I'm already at 4K hours for lifetime of the channel, but not 4K for the year. Will you take my call if it's from the lockup? Thank you, Wooji. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Okay, guys. So we'll talk about some more stuff tomorrow. Like I said, I would like to talk about the YubiKey and explain that and what the implications that are, and if that's useful or not. And I also want to talk about some of the things that you can add on to the Wi-Fi Tor router. Okay, good night, my friends. Have learned a lot over the years, Cody. Take care, Kelp. Be careful, Kelp. Might be a terrorist around you, Kelp. In Virginia, Maryland, a lot of terrorists over there. That's where they hang out. Okay. And no, Kelp, I've not talked to any three-letter agency, no. Bye-bye. Good night.